All right guys, welcome back to another video. Dakota is going to be showing you with Sammy here today through all the models, what bike suits what person, what Sam thinks of them, give a good little breakdown of basically what they're going to be used for and stuff like that. But before people come in, Sammy, what are some things that people need to think about before they come to the dealership when it comes to choosing a bike?
That's a really good question. I guess for me, there are three main drivers as to why we buy these things. And in no particular order, but looks is a big one. Let's be honest. We're kidding ourselves when we buy these things because they're ugly. They're just not. You fall in love with them. Riding application, so the type of riding that you enjoy doing or plan on doing. There's no use getting something that's not going to be beneficial to your riding potential. And then budget. How much you're willing to invest in something like this, because they're not cheap. Obviously. But hopefully if you get the right bike and it ticks all those boxes for you, you're going to hold on to them for a long, long time.
And I guess it makes it a lot easier for when you come in, Sam can sell you the right bike to what you want and make sure you leave with the bike that you're happy with, or there's no question about it. You can come in with a bit of foundation to give to Sam, and I know Sam pretty well, and he's very passionate about making sure you're on the right bike, and you come back in the dealership and the client share the experiences back with yourself, and I'm sure you get a pretty big kick out of that.
Exactly right. Nothing better than when someone comes back and they say, oh look, I've definitely got the right bike, I'm in love with it. Versus, potentially coming back and saying, look, I've maybe made a mistake, which we'll help out with for sure, but much easier and cheaper if you make the right decision.
100%,
Which is what we're here for. We're not necessarily trying to just get you into a bike. We'll ask the questions and try and help you, sort of filter down what bike does what for you. And then hopefully you're in love with it.
Yeah, we highly recommend you come down, see Sammy and the guys here. These guys have got a wealth of experience down here, and making sure that you get the right bike and as well the right deal that comes with it. But most importantly, to be honest for me, it'd be getting the right bike and making sure you've got no regrets, because that will cost you more than with your ego and your money. Make sure you have the right bike. So let's get stuck in the video, and Dakota and Sammy will go over these bikes for you and get stuck into it.
Nice one.
All right guys, welcome back. We're down here at Harley Heaven, Adelaide with Sam. Today we're going to be running through kind of what models there are, what bike suits which rider, and with Sam's expertise, he's going to really break it down for you guys. So we've got a few messages come through the channel and the Instagram page asking kind of what bike should I get, don't really know much about it, and a few people have brought the wrong bike, and then now they're kind of looking at different avenues. All right guys, we're going to kick this one off with the Lowrider ST. So talk to us a little bit about this bike, Sam.
This is the one that does it all. So this is for the guys that are looking for one bike in their stable that does a really good job of everything. So, I suppose starting with the dual front discs, inverted forks, a little bit taller suspension travel, you can absolutely ride this thing pretty hard, especially if you love the hills like you would have seen in the last video, for example, but also does medium to longer distance really well. So that front fairing does a really good job of taking the wind off your chest, and with the inclusion of different sized wind screens, it can really negate buffeting. But also it's got the quick release bags. They're lockable, they're fantastic for just about everything you could need on a weekender. But they look brilliant too.
I love the look of them.
Yeah, the 117 high output, like in the last video, huge amount of power potential out of them. So whether you're looking for just stage one or beyond, you could truly daily this thing. You could use it on the weekend. You can do longer trips on it.
Beautiful.
Does an awesome job.
Nice. And as far as the ST range, it's just one model type thing?
Exactly right. So look, we've got the addition of a chrome outfit this year. So there used to be just all blacked out finishes last year. But this year, obviously the 117 high output, which is a little bit different. Tire pressure monitoring now, which is good too. But chrome version as well for those early 2000 dyno guys.
Yeah, beautiful. Cool. All right guys, next one on the chopping board, we have got the Softail Heritage.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's sort of similar vein to the Lowrider ST, but look, a lot of guys are nostalgic with the brand, I guess. They love the traditional sort of side of things. They love the history of Harley-Davidson. So, those are the guys that I'd point towards the Heritage, for example. So again, something that, that one bike that does everything really well. So it's very similar as far as bags, wind protection, taller suspension travel for a bit more lean angle, but looks totally different, obviously. So it appeals to a different audience. You know, highway lights, obviously, just that classic cruiser sort of style. You know, if you think Harley-Davidson and you think, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s sort of stuff, and you're after that feeling when you're riding that bike, then absolutely this is the sort of thing I'd point you towards for sure. Yeah, Street Bob. So probably the best value proposition in the lineup, in my opinion. So, you know, last year Harley had the Street Bob at 27.5, for example. This year it's dropped down to 25 starting point. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
No, it's still a 117 cubic inch motor like the rest of the lineup. Really versatile as well. You know, slightly smaller fuel tank, so it wouldn't be necessarily doing long distance on it. You still can. It's nearly a 14 litre tank, and so it's 5 less litres than something like the last two we looked at. But I guess, you know, we look at this as the blank canvas. This is the one that guys will modify to the nth degree. A lot of the time.
Good starting point, not too expensive.
100%. And you know, same deal. You know, they obviously Harley's answer to the bobber, so they look really cool. So much you can do with them. And they're basically just a massive motor, set of handlebars and some wheels, you know. So do with it what you will, but you know, you could easily daily this, for example. It, you know, these Milwaukee 8 motors, they'll do, you know, thousands of kilometers before we have to worry about them. So it's really good starting point for someone in the Harley world.
Now we got the Fat Boy guys, so
the muscle cruiser.
The muscle cruiser.
So, you know, thick, chunky lines. You know, floorboards. The Fat Boy obviously came out in 1990 and made famous in Terminator 2 by Arnie. And you know, a lot of guys that go this way have had, you know, the Fat Boy in their mind since they were kids. You know, they saw the movie, or their dad had one, or something along those lines, and they've got to have a Fat Boy. Very similar, I guess, to the Breakout by way of a 240 rear tyre, but just look at that little bit chunkier, I guess. Arguably a little bit more of a comfortable riding position, because, you know, you're sitting a little bit more upright. Because of the handlebars. But you know, a Fat Boy done up just looks just as good as a Breakout for sure. You know, it's a really good sort of weekend cruiser. A lot of guys daily these to work as well. You're not going to set any lap records on it with a 240 rear tyre, obviously. But you know, you're just sitting back, cruising, taking it in, and you fall in love with these things. For
Beautiful.
Sure.
And they got the 117 in these as well.
Exactly right. Same motor as the Breakout. It's the same configuration. So you know, a lot of the time it's either this or the Breakout for guys, and it's just, you know, looks and the feeling you get when you sit on it, essentially. Beautiful.
We've got the big girl here. This is an Ultra Unlimited.
Ultra Limited.
Ultra Limited.
Exactly right. The hamburger with a lot. So this is, as far as tours are concerned, this is probably the best value in the lineup. This gives you everything. So starting with the top box and the pillion backrest. You know, so this is for people that do really long distance.
Big trips.
Exactly right. And regularly. It's the heaviest bike in the lineup, so you know, it's a big commitment, I guess. You get used to it relatively quickly if you are using it, you know, frequently. But just like a Harley, you know, still got a low center of gravity and all sort of stuff as well. So it rides like a lighter bike. But we've got, you know, heated grips out the gate, for example. These are partially water cooled. You've got the shin fairings for wind protection. And you know, just so much storage. It's insane.
This is the big cruiser.
Exactly right. And easily the most comfortable seat in the lineup for a long way. So, you know, if you're not necessarily into modifying bikes and you just want something to jump on and ride to Darwin,
big trips.
This is absolutely the one for you. And yeah, really popular for us too.
And how's it priced in the lineup?
So, you know, if we're comparing it to something like a Street Glide, you know, it's not that much more for a lot of extra inclusions. So if you bought a Street Glide and you put something like that on the back of it, the Street Glide is going to be more expensive. So if you were looking for just something out the gate that has everything straight away, we'd sort of point you in this direction.
The one to go.
100%.
Beautiful. All right, guys, we got the Street Glide. It's like the Ultra, just a few less bells and whistles, eh?
Exactly right. Just a bit smaller. Probably a little bit more manageable for most people as well. You know, why Street Glide? I guess, you know, we've done a video on, you know, Street Glide versus Road Glide. So, you know, generally this would be the one that, you know, you might have a second commuter bike, for example, but you do enjoy like longer distance riding with your friends. Or you've had Harleys in the past before and you're wanting to upgrade to something a little bit more comfortable. You know, agile, easy to ride, and you know, obviously all the tech that you could possibly want as well,
beautiful.
which is great. The touring frames do a really good job of distributing weight over the entire bike. So if you're loading up, for example, the bags, or if you're riding the tour, you're probably a little bit more comfortable versus the Softail.
Yeah,
you know?
perfect.
So yeah, it's a strong seller for us for sure.
Yeah, and if you're worried about this one or the Road Glide, we have got a video up on our YouTube, so head over and suss that link out and you can have a bit more of a look into it. All right, guys, we're here with the Breakout now. Sam?
Our #1 seller.
The best one.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, I mean, I think this is Harley-Davidson's answer to the custom chopper.
Yep.
You know? So out the gate, we've got a 240 rear tyre, so wide rear tyre, raked front end. It's arguably the best looking bike in the fleet, you know, and it's why a lot of people buy these things, which is fine.
And we get a lot of messages saying like, want a Harley, want a Breakout, but then they don't really know too much. So and you can see why.
Oh, for sure. Look, for me, these things sell themselves, so it's a question of making sure people get the right bike. And a huge driver is looks, you know, because you're not buying something to get from A to B. You're buying something that gives you that total feeling when you're sitting on and riding on it. And for a lot of guys, this ticks all the boxes straight out the gate. You know, you see these owned for a number of years and modified to the nth degree.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is cool. Not everyone does that hills riding that you like to enjoy. So some people just like to jump on to ride with their mates and cruise to the beach or pub or something like that. And you have to admit, you feel pretty cool looking sitting on this sort of thing.
I remember when my dad got his Breakout like 10 years ago. And when they released it, he was like, that's exactly what I want. I want the wide arse end, I want the long, the raked out. So, no, they are a good foundation to start with for sure.
Absolutely. There's so much you can do to it, but not a lot you have to do to it out the gate because it looks the way it does. So, I mean, I guess just looking at it, you can see why it's our #1 seller.
All right, guys, next up we got the Road Glide. So,
Road Glide, so same vein as the Street Glide. So something that, you know, to do some distance on. I guess the thing that would separate them is looks and that seating position. So I think we spoke about in the last video. The Street Glide you're sort of sitting on top of a lot more.
And it's probably a little in this one in the Road Glide.
It's a little bit more, has the illusion of being a little bit more agile. And then obviously you've got the Road Glide, which you feel like you're sitting in. Have a bit more of that, you know, laid back sort of touring position, I guess, especially with the new bars being a little bit taller. But, you know, it's always going to come down to a looks game first and then comfort second for sure.
They do look good, these ones. All right, guys, our personal favourite, the Lowrider S. Let's go.
I'm a little bit biased, but probably our #2 seller now. You know, to the point where we're running out of stock for the year, so getting quick, guys.
Crazy.
You know, this is the sort of thing that I would recommend jumping onto if you have a road bike background, a dirt bike background, but you want a Harley. You know, it's a really good way to sort of, you know, retain the agility, throw the bike around, obviously through the hills and all sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly. So just like the Lowrider ST, inverted forks, dual front discs, taller suspension travel for a bit more lean angle. Mid mounts, which make life easier when you're really getting into the corner. They look cool. They do everything really well as well. I commute on mine. I do distance on mine. You know, I go through the hills on mine. Love it. I haven't found anything that sort of I could replace it with. I've had a lot of hyper naked bikes, for example, road bikes. The riding position is sort of dirt bike-esque as well.
So they are nice.
It's just a really nice thing to live with, I guess.
Beautiful.
And this one was actually purchased by a subscriber to you guys as
well.
How good.
So
that's pretty cool.
Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you. Sam, we can't thank you enough, mate, for letting us come down and use the dealership once again.
Pleasure.
And for you to take time out of your day to run us through all these awesome models that you guys sell. We do ask if you guys have any more questions, leave a comment. If not, if you're in Adelaide, come down and see Sam. He's more than happy to run through these bikes, make some models in more detail in person with you, and you know, probably get a test ride if you wanted one as well. So we can't thank you enough, Sam, and
thank you, Dakota.
We can't wait to do more content down here, and stay tuned for the next one.
Thanks, guys.